Marcus Vale sat on a dusty stool in his workshop, the constant hum of machinery filling the small, dimly lit hangar. Tools, wires, and half-functional ship parts were strewn across every surface. His workshop sat on a forgotten backwater moon in the Zolaris Fringe, a place where few travelers dared to venture, unless they had no choice. Today he accompanied, leaning against the doorframe, arms crossed, was the most stunning alien Marcus had ever seen. She was Aelexia, a member of the Seraphian race, celestial beings with shimmering, translucent skin that reflected hues of blue and silver. Her glowing violet eyes sparkled with intelligence and frustration. Her ship, a sleek Seraphian Starwhisper, was dead on arrival. Its hyperdrive was fried, and the power core had melted into something resembling alien cheese. "How bad is it?" Aelexia asked, her voice soft and melodic. Marcus wiped his hands on an oil-streaked rag and grunted. "Bad enough. Hyperdrive's toast, and you need a new power core. I can fix it, but parts like those don't just fall from the sky. Especially out here." Aelexia shifted uncomfortably. Her movements were unnaturally graceful, like liquid silver flowing through air. She bit her lower lip, a very human gesture, Marcus noticed. "And the cost," she pressed. Marcus glanced at her. "Expensive." Aelexia pushed off the door frame and strode toward him, stopping just shy of arm's length. She looked him straight in the eyes, her glowing gaze captivating but unyielding. "I will do anything to get my ship fixed," she said softly. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Anything, huh?" Aelexia blinked as Marcus shoved a toolbox into her arms. "Start by holding this." "What?" she stammered, stunned. "You said you'd do anything. Welcome to apprenticeship. You're my assistant until your ship's space-worthy. We work until the job's done." She stared at him, disbelief painted across her face. You would ask a Seraphian to labor?" Marcus grinned and picked up a plasma welder. "You offered, and labor is what it takes. Unless you know someone willing to donate a Seraphian-class power core." Aelexia huffed, clearly unamused. She dropped the toolbox onto the nearest workbench with an echoing clang. "Fine, if I must." For the next 4 days, Aelexia worked alongside Marcus. Or rather, she tried to. "What is this foul substance?" she gagged, holding up a grimy coolant line. "Engine grease," Marcus said, smirking. "Welcome to real work, princess." "I'm not a princess," Aelexia shot back, throwing the line at him. It missed barely. Despite her initial resistance, Aelexia was no stranger to perseverance. Soon, Marcus watched in mild amusement as the elegant Seraphian learned to wield plasma cutters, torque wrenches, and even a sledgehammer with surprising skill. And, slowly, the Starwhisper began to come together again. On the 5th day, Aelexia hovered over the hyperdrive assembly, her glowing eyes narrowed with determination. Sparks flew as she welded a new stabilizer into place, beads of sweat trickling down her iridescent skin. Marcus leaned against the railing, watching her work. "Not bad," he admitted. "You're a quick learner." Aelexia didn't look up. "And you're tolerable company for a human," he chuckled. "Careful, you're starting to sound like you enjoy this." She shot him a sharp look, but there was a spark of humor in her gaze. "Don't push your luck, Vale." By the 7th day, the Starwhisper hummed with life. The power core, jury-rigged from parts Marcus salvaged from 3 derelict freighters, glowed steadily in its housing. Aelexia stood at the control console, her hands caressing the ship's crystalline interface. "It's ready," Marcus said, wiping grease from his face. Aelexia turned to face him, her expression unreadable. For a long moment, the two stood in silence. Finally, she spoke. "I did not think humans were capable of such ingenuity." Marcus smirked. You underestimated us. Common mistake. I did. Aelexia hesitated, her glowing eyes softer now. And I underestimated you. Later, as Aelexia prepared to depart, she lingered at the bottom of the boarding ramp. Marcus stood nearby, arms crossed. You're sure that hyperdrive won't explode? She teased. It'll hold, Marcus replied confidently. Probably. Aelexia tilted her head, amusement flickering across her face. Marcus Vale, you are the strangest human I have ever encountered. He shrugged. I aim to impress. Aelexia stepped closer, her gaze locking onto his. In the Seraphian culture, we repay debts. Should you ever find yourself in need, call for me, and I will come. Marcus smirked, his expression playful but grateful. I'll keep that in mind. She leaned in, close enough that Marcus could see the shimmer of stars reflected in her eyes. Farewell, human. With that, she ascended the ramp, disappearing into the Starwhisper. Moments later, the ship's engines roared to life, and it soared into the sky, leaving Marcus standing in the dusty hangar, watching the glow of its thrusters fade into the void. Marcus let out a breath and shook his head. Aliens, man. He turned back toward his workshop, muttering as he grabbed his tools. At least you didn't steal my wrench. Far above the moon, Aelexia gazed at her reflection in the control panel. A smudge of engine grease still streaked across her cheek. She smiled.